So today we're going to be factoring quadratics, which is kind of the opposite of multiplying, like we were doing last time. So the first thing you want to do is check out each of the terms and divide them by the biggest thing that you can divide them. So 12, 80, and 28, they can all be divided by 2, but they can also all be divided by 4. So the biggest thing is the one that you're going to choose. To decide which one's the biggest, I look at the smallest number first and think, what can I divide that 12 by? So I can obviously divide 12 by 12, but 12 doesn't go into 28 or 80, so that won't work. 12 can also be divided by 6, but 6 won't go into the other two either. And then the next biggest is 4. 4 goes into both, so that's what I'm going to choose. So I'm going to divide them all by 4, but I'm also going to look at the letters. They all have a K, and if they all have that letter, you can take out at least as many as the smallest one. So I can take out a K because they all have 1K. So I'm going to put that 4K that I'm going to divide each piece by in front of the parentheses, and I'm going to divide it, and the result is going to go inside. So 12 divided by 4 leaves me with 3. K to the third divided by K to the first is just going to take one of those 3 K's away, and it's going to leave me with K squared. Just subtract an exponent. Then you move on. 80 divided by 4 is going to be 20, and it's going to lose a K, so 20K. Then the negative 28 divided by 4 is going to be negative 7. The K's cancel each other out, loses a K, it's gone. So now we've got this trinomial in the middle, or in the parentheses. That's where our focus is now. We have these 3 letters, A, B, and C. We're going to make a star, just draw 3 lines to make a star. And on the top, you're going to put A times C, and on the bottom, you're going to put the B. And on the bottom sides, you're going to put the A number. So I'm going to put these numbers in here. A times C is going to be 3 times negative 21. So that's 3 times negative 7, give me negative 21. And then the B number is 20, so that goes in the bottom. And then the A number is 3, so that goes on the sides. Now, what you're looking for are 2 numbers that multiply to get the top and add to get the bottom. Okay, so you want the 2 numbers on the sides here, you want them to multiply to get the A times C. So you want to multiply to equal the A times C, that's the number on the top, in our case negative 21. And you want to add to be equal to the B, the bottom number. So you first look at the top number, the negative 21. What can you, 2 numbers that multiply to get 21. We'll worry about the negative later. But multiply to get 21 is going to be 1 and 21 and 3 times 7. So that's it. Those are the only pairs of numbers that multiply to get 21. Okay, now to multiply to get negative, you just need one of the 2 numbers to be a negative, and you get to pick which one you want to be negative. But the bottom number tells you which number is negative. So you want to add, or in this case subtract, since it's a negative 21. You want to add to get 20. So negative 1 plus 21 is going to equal 20. Right, so there's your 2 numbers right there. Negative 1 plus and a positive 21. Doesn't matter which side they go on. And you just put them on the sides. And then you're going to think of the sides as fractions. So this is negative 1 over 3. So you want to reduce those as much as they can reduce. 1/3 doesn't reduce. And then the 21 over 3 on the other side can be reduced down to 7 over 1. So these side fractions are going to give us our answer. So the work part is done. Now you're just writing your answer. So I dropped the 4K down. In the parentheses, I'm going to put these side fractions. The bottom number goes first. So I have 3, and then the letter, K in this case, and then the top number. So 3K minus 1. Then in the other parenthesis, I put the bottom first, so 1K plus 7. Bottom number, then the top. Okay, and that's it. There's our answer right there. check out number 2. So the first thing that you want to do is take out a common factor. Again, I start with the smallest number, so 35. 35 can be divided by 35, but that won't work. 35 can be divided by 7, but 7 won't go into 265. So the next thing is 5, and I know 5 will go into all of them because 265 ends in 5, 140 ends in 0. So I can divide them all by 5. I cannot divide by an x because the 140 does not have an x. So I just put the 5 in the front. 35 divided by 5 is 7. Keep the x squared. 265 divided by 5 is going to be 53. Keep the x plus 140 divided by 5 is going to be 28. Okay, so there I've took out the common factor. You always want to take out the common factor first. Then I've got A, B, C. So draw your star. A times C on the top, B on the bottom, A on the sides. So A times C is going to be 7 times 28. It's going to be 196. And then on the bottom is B, so 53. A on the sides, so 7. Okay, so now when it's a big number like 196, I like to start with dividing it. So I'm going to, and I always start with small numbers. So 196 divided by 2, well, I'll start with 1, I guess. 1 times 196, then 2. Divide 196 by 2, and I get 98. And I'm looking, remember, I'm looking to get 53. So I want these two to add to get 53. 2 and 98 is not going to be that. It's going to be 100, so keep going. 196 divided by 3 doesn't work. You don't get an even number, a whole number. So keep going. 196 divided by 4 gives you 49. So 4 and 49 is 4 plus 49, 53. Yeah, so there's the pair that we want. Okay, as soon as you can get the pair to make the bottom, then you stop and put them in your sides, and then think of these as fractions and reduce them. But 4 over 7 doesn't reduce. 49 over 7 does. Comes down to 7 over 1. So now the work is done. We just write our answer. Drop the 5. Take a look at your fraction. The bottom number goes first. So 7x plus the top number, 4. And then look at your other fraction, 1x. By the way, you don't need the 1 there. And then plus the top number, 7. So this I could just write as x plus 7, and normally I will. Okay, so there's your answer. I'll do one more with you here. So number 5. So what can we divide all 3 of these by is the first question. And I start by looking at the small number, 14. Can't divide 14 into 24. 7 is the next thing I can divide into 14. And that's not going to go into 24. So then 2 is the only other number, and that'll go into all of them. Then they all have an n, right? The 54's got an n, the 24 has an n squared, so I can divide them all by n. So put the 2n in the front, and the result inside, 14 divided by 2 is 7. Drop the number from the exponent, and then 24 divided by 2 is 12. The n to the second becomes n to the first, minus 54 divided by 2. It's going to leave us with 27. Oops, that n goes away because it got divided out. Okay, and then we're looking to do the star. So draw your star. A times C on the top, B on the bottom, A on the sides. You don't really need to put those letters, but it will help you, I'm sure, remember what goes where. So you might as well do it for a while until you have it memorized. There's A, B, and C, so 7 times 27 goes on top. And that's a negative 27, so it's going to be a negative 189. 7 times negative 27. And then the b is 12, it goes on the bottom, and 7 is the a, goes on the sides. So now I'm looking for numbers that multiply to get 189 and subtract to get 12. When the top's positive, they're going to add to get 12. When they're negative, you just think subtract. It makes it easier. They'll subtract to get 12. So I'm going to take that 189 and start dividing by things. I know it doesn't divide by 2. I know 1 and 189 work, but that's not going to get me anywhere close to the 12 that I'm looking for, so I can skip that. But 189 divided by 3 gets me 63. And 63 minus 3 is 60, still far too big. So take 189 divided by, even numbers are not going to work, so don't bother trying even numbers. I know 5 isn't going to work because it doesn't end in 5. 6 is even, so then I'm going up to 7. So 189 divided by 7 leaves me with 27. So 27 minus 7 is 20. That's getting fairly close. So we'll take 189 divided by, I know 8's not going to work because it's even, so divided by 9, and we're going to get 21. So 21 minus 9, that gets me what I want, right? Because 21 minus 9 is 12. So put those numbers up in the top, and now the negative should go on the smaller number to get the positive 12. If you put the negative on the 21, you're going to get a negative 12 instead of a positive 12. So the hard part's done. Now you just take the side fractions and reduce if they do. Negative 9 over 7 does not reduce. On the other side, 21 over 7 reduces down to 3. So now I just write my answer. 2n parentheses, take the side fraction, put the bottom number first, and then the top number. So 7n minus 9. Then go to the other side, fraction, do the same thing. 1n plus 3. And then you're all set. Okay, if you have questions, let me know.